I feel like there should be more infrastructures for like these rappers who do get like a name brand. So like, okay, maybe they can't tour America, but we should have like more labels and more like opportunities here for them. Maybe tour Europe, maybe go like other places.
No. Not to interrupt you. They should be able to tour America with that infrastructure in place. That infrastructure should also be able to have legal people in place where, okay, yeah, this guy is a street artist and yes, he dealt with his share of stuff in the past in his checkered past, but he's got so much potential and his music is getting so much attention that we're going to get his paperwork done so that he can go to the States. Exactly. We're going to get the waivers. Yes, we'll spend the 3,500 American because that's going to be an ROI. Because when we get this guy across into America with the buzz he already has here, he's out of here.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm for forgiveness, especially if there's some sort of like changed behavior that's displayed. But as a government, as like a law enforcement infrastructure, you also don't want to reward people who have maybe done very like heinous things and then be like, well, we'll pay for your tour. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
is it rewarding people? Because like, at what point do we want to rehabilitate these people? You know what I mean? Look at 50 Cent. Imagine if he didn't get an opportunity to become who he was today. He's employing so many Black Americans. You know what I mean? Look at Jay-Z. There's so many like examples of people who were able to change their checkered past once they're given an opportunity.
But I think for like every one of those like specific cases of success that you're listing, there's a majority of cases of people who end up recommitting, people who end up going back to prison, people who end up maybe doing even worse crimes after, because unless you're 50 Cent or Jay-Z or someone who is massively talented, and also there's like a good amount of luck. Let's like, for anyone who's successful, you know what I'm saying?
You also have to keep in mind the reason that people recidivize or reoffend, right?
Opportunity.
It's opportunity, right? If they know, okay, sorry, I'm going to have to blanket. I fucked up, but you know what? There's a system in place that my talent, I can still take it to the full potential. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're in America and you get into these same circumstances, you're already there.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, I screwed up. I have a bunch of cases. I have 100 cases.
I can still tour 52 states or whatever.
Exactly. And these 100 cases actually make it sexier for my audience, right? They're like, yo, you got 100 cases. You're actually real. I want to see you on tour.
Exactly.
Come to Tallahassee. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to cross no borders to go from Orlando or Jacksonville to Tallahassee or, to Miami or to, Arkansas or something. You know what I'm saying? Their opportunity is there, even though they're coming from harder circumstances than us. Let's not forget that. Their opportunities are right there. We got to cross a border. They don't got to come up to Canada to get $1 million, dog. They can get it at home.
No, that's true.
But we got to go there.
We have to go there because we're making their art form on top of that. Exactly. If you really want to get deep with it. You know what I'm 100%. Saying? It's an American art form. So in the end of the day, anybody who's coming from an international place, you got to go to the source. Exactly. Central C, everybody included.
Yeah.
He's not in England right now. He's running around taking pictures of everybody in the States because he's broken the barrier of the UK.
Yeah, once you reach a certain threshold, you have to cross over to the States.
Yeah.
No matter where you are. And I think almost in like any genre, maybe not even just like
not any genre. I'd say like the Spanish music, like they are able to thrive like within their own like ecosphere. Even Afrobeats, although they do like that American market, before they really got that American appeal, they were thriving, bro.
They're already
by
there.
themselves.
But even with Afrobeats, the biggest Afrobeats artist is Burna Boy.
And he will do a show in the States.
He's always here.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got Hot 97 and Breakfast Club interviews and all that. Like he's touched American soil. Same with Giggs. Giggs has been working through the UK he's been one of the biggest UK artists for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
But when I got to meet him, he was like so happy that he's able to now, he's only now able to travel. Yeah. The man has grays in his beard. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, this was like a long time coming for him, but he's doing it because it's like the final piece to the puzzle to make him the biggest artist that he can be.
I would say the difference is between those places and what we have here in Toronto is like, okay, yes, they want that American audience, but they don't need it to thrive and survive. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard to thrive as a Toronto artist if you're just only relying on Canada.
Yo, there are artists in Turkey who never leave Turkey. They don't have to because there's like 80 million people there. They can always find somewhere to do a show. Real talk, even though it's smaller than Ontario, it's easy to travel. But you're right, like unless we could probably name on like our two hands like the amount of rappers in Canada who just were able to thrive off Canada. And like, were they really thriving or did they just have like a semi-successful career?
I always bring up Classified.
Yeah, Classified was the only man I thought about.
But the thing is, his goals and his levels of what he wants in life are different than the guy who wants to have the Maybach.
Exactly.
Who knows? He might want that low key. But he seemed very happy with having a nice house.
Yeah.
Him and his wife and his kids are doing, he has his own room to record in. He's not in a mansion, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he just tours Canada when it's time to do it. He does the O Canada song every July 1st, probably. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, probably gets big bucks for that one.
Yeah. But like, his goals are different. He doesn't want to have the Maybach and 20 chains and all that. If he wanted that, he can't stay here, bro.
Cardinal Official kind of crossed over.
He crossed over big time.
Did Chaos cross over?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, that's a good example.
And we see what happened with Chaos after. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
what happened with him after?
Tell me. Yeah.
You don't remember? You don't remember the picture?
Yeah, with the skillet.
He's still Canadian. He's still Canadian music royalty, and like I still like his music.
He's like Bhakti status. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
He's always been kind of, what do you call it, eccentric, right?
Yeah.
And it was the last time that people really, he went viral, I guess. I'm sorry, Chaos. I reposted him. He posted it on his own Instagram. He was butt naked almost with a friggin' skillet of eggs or some shit or macaroni.
Yeah, he was wearing a dress or something, right?
No, it was he was like half naked with the macaroni just covering his, like the pot covering his meat type shit.
He always seemed like a freaky boy, you know, like the songs that he makes, you know. She put the crabs in the bucket, you know, like.
Yeah, but
feel the heat between us.
He is a good example though, because did he really get a lot of American play? Like his songs did get some play over there, but was he really moving around touring in the States?
Is Kanan Canadian? He's Canadian, right?
He's Canadian.
Yes.
Okay. He had the song that crossed over, but I don't think he crossed over.
Well, he just won a Grammy the other day.
He did for an album, yeah.
Yes. Low-key, I didn't know he was doing this whole time, and then the man sitting at the Grammys. I'm like, what are you doing there, bro?
Okay,
like,
so he's
active.
so he's just like low-key lit.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. He also has the global support of like the Somali community in Canada,
because
America, Sweden.
Like Fatima and stuff, and I love that song Fatima. Like I listened to it, like it's a beautiful story, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And Waving Flag was an international hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So he caught one.
Like World Cup anthem. Like that's insane.
Yeah, like his bank account turned around from that one song.
Exactly.
Right? So like these are different examples, right? But to be somebody who's just only Canadian doing it, it's hard. Especially when you're a gangster rapper. Your expectations are not the same with a Classified, dog.
Exactly.
You want more out of life. First of all, your chain collection is already more, with all due respect to Classified, than what Classified's house and all that.
Exactly.
Right? No, because you want to have $300,000, $400,000 worth of jewelry on.
Exactly.
That's a house.
Yeah.
Especially in the Maritimes.
Yeah. So you're doing that already. You're going to have to go make more money. You're going to have to go to where the 350 million people are sitting at. I'm sorry.
Yeah, especially if you want that lifestyle. Right? But would you say that there are non-rap artists who are Canadian who are maybe able to tour Canada exclusively and do like bar gigs and like smaller gigs, but constantly tour? Like maybe like, I don't know, Canadian folk music. I don't know, like
Canadian rock and shit.
Arkells, you know, Arkells. They're from Hamilton.
Yeah. They do a lot of. They do a lot of games and
Down with Webster used to be a thing. Billy Talent, but they
Down
also.
with Webster was lit. Down with Webster was lit.
But
Down with Webster was sick.
You
no
see
one
the
talks
thing
about
is,
that.
these guys, and fortunately, I have met some of these guys, like along the way. Like I'll tell you, exclusive. I used to sell weed to the drummer of Our Lady Peace's mom.
Oh, that's crazy.
That is such a random connect. That is the most Toronto man thing I've heard in my life.
The mom dudes.
I just snorted out loud so hard.
That is the most Toronto man. Like, you know how I know this guy?
Okay,
I used
that's
to
a-
so
Chopping
with
an eighth
mom.
to the mom dukes.
Not an eighth. I would chop like ounces to them, bro. Like,
Oh,
remember?
okay. Oh, yeah, they're lit. They're lit. They're
They
lit.
got money, bro. Our Lady
Yeah.
Peace is lit.
Yeah, they're huge.
Right?
Yeah.
So I got to meet homie a few times. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like the way these guys live, they're rock bands. You don't see the money on them. They're not like
Exactly.
wearing Prada shoes and all that. And now I think he's like a radio announcer here. So he's got a second gig and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like people live pretty modestly if you could have like a Canadian rock star hit, right? And then even cross over into the States. But once that's over, you're getting your royalty checks or whatever. You might have a nice condo or something like that, but you're not like mansioned up, 20 cars and shit. Like you might have a nice gig. Like homie has a gig now doing radio. So I'm sure that's bringing in some checks and stuff. But like,
Yeah.
niggas are not rich.
Hearing that hurts me.
There's even
Why?
that shorty Anjuli. She had that song "Brand New Chick,"
Mhm,
and that's a big tune still. You know that song like low-key crossed over.
yeah.
But then like she went super ghost, and then I'm just recently seeing her pop back up on TikTok,
Mhm,
trying to get
mhm.
the motion back. You know, and like
Yeah.
it's like a real reality for any artist. Like especially if you're Canadian, because we don't have the same platforms, outlets.
Yeah. You
Mm.
might have to go back to living in a smaller town.
Exactly.
You can't live in downtown Toronto
Exactly.
because you ain't gonna be spending no $3K a month for your spot. You know what I'm saying? Go live in Belleville or something.
Exactly.
You know,
Coburg.
Coburg is sick. You'd be lucky to live in Coburg.
Yeah.
No, but what I will say, the reason why hearing that this drummer now works as a radio host kind of like hurts me a little bit, and it's not a bad look at all, like, you know, but for me it's like I imagine that, you know, you want to be an artist your whole life, like, but then you realize it's just going to be one of your careers, and that
Yeah.
like you're going to have to find another career. You know what I'm saying? And that is a little upset because like, what if like, I don't know, say you were like a rock star and now you work somewhere and people recognize you as like, yo, you used to be that guy.
Well, that is a steep fall off, but I would
Yes.
say like being a drummer to a radio host.
No, that's a
that
good-
is it's a good
linear.
lateral.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I mean?
Fam, that's the equivalent, and maybe not the equivalent, but on a different level. Nori going from being a multi-platinum rapper to
Yeah,
now being a
exactly.
podcaster.
No, I
Exactly.
feel like that's like those are like kind of collateral moves. Even like a former athlete becoming an analyst,
Yeah,
like you're
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
in the
Yeah, yeah.
field. But
And
like
I feel like passions change over time. Like if you've been like, imagine he's been drumming since he was like 3 years old. You know, like when he's 40, he probably doesn't want to be like going on tour. You know how like exhausting tour could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe like this secure gig is probably what he wants to do. He probably like spends time with his family.
Yeah.
Has like a beautiful life.
But
you
do
know?
you feel like those people who make those career changes, it's on their accord, or it's more like father time? Because like no athlete is gonna, I mean, some athletes are doing the media like while they are playing, like
Yeah,
Paul
yeah.
George and these guys, but most of them, they get into it because they're not the same basketball player like they were, like, you know, your body ages.
Yeah.
Or like a lot of these rock stars or whatever, probably like Our Lady of Peace, eventually like their hype died down and maybe they still have some core fans, but it
Yeah.
wasn't the same as it was at their peak, you know?
Well, that's natural. Like you kind of, if you'd be kind of stupid to not expect the wave to go down and not prepare for what's going to happen when the wave goes down. Like you're not going to be crazy hot all the time. Rock, hip hop, whatever it is. Like you had hit songs, but your hit song's not going to be a hit for 30 years.
Exactly.
You're gonna get designated to oldies radio stations and stuff like that. You're not on the main station anymore.
Yeah.
So when that's happening, you're not getting the same royalty checks as you were getting 6 years ago when you first dropped the song, or 20 years ago when you were getting $50,000 checks in the mail. Now you're getting like $20 checks in the mail from the song.
Even the girl from the Bernie Mac show, like the one that played the teenage, she's
Yeah.
like 31, 32 now. And like she just dropped the OnlyFans, and everyone's like kind of up in arms, like, oh, what happened to the Bernie Mac checks? And she's like, you mean from like 20 years ago?
Yeah, you can't be hot forever. So if you're not planning what you're going to be doing when the wave starts going down, then
Exactly.
you're crazy.
Exactly.
It's so interesting because you could spend your whole life trying to get hot, and then you have the smallest window imaginable
Mhm.
before you're bound to fall off. Like,
Everybody falls off. Jay-Z fell off.
Literally.
Like he didn't fall off. He bowed out gracefully.
Yeah, it was more on his terms.
Yes, but like he'd be a fool to be like, well, my new album dropping just now, and then next year I got another one, and then they'd be like, nigga, you're 50-something years old. Like, why don't you got no businesses? You know
That's why I appreciate what Nas is doing, because you could tell he's not trying to be number one on the radio. He's obviously like super up from his investments. He doesn't need to do music, but he has a passion for this. He still wants to do it, and he's releasing like top tier quality, you know?
Yeah.
Yo, this kind of, I think, makes me appreciate certain types of artists more, because there are careers where like you're never gonna fall off. Like a writer can always like be an author, you know, like an author's always gonna be an author. He might even get better as he gets older.
That's true.
What are other, maybe a painter?
I'd say like the good comedians as well. Like,
yeah.
Like George Carlin, as he got older, he got even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a job that you can do, and you could be an old ass man doing it on the stage. People expect it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
no one's gonna be like, "Yo, that doctor fell off." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, the surgeon fell off. He was sick for the first 4 years.
If you butcher too many people, then you
might fall off. You know what I'm saying? Your work is getting a little shoddy. But listen, man, we went super far from the Hoodlum 5. But listen, salute to them.
Salute, I guess.
You know what I mean? And stay out of trouble, guys.
We love hip hop.